LaToya,
and I was afraid.
The only time that you were ever there when I was there,
I don't even want to talk.
You were there one time.
He knows the truth.
Now, Corey, now let me ask you something, Corey. You're angry with LaToya, but she says she saw checks, and she saw lots of young boys coming in and out of the house. Why would you call her a liar?
What else did I say?
Well, there were young boys coming in and out of the house. There were young girls coming in and out of the house.
You saw girls.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, is it possible that something occurred and that the money was exchanged?
It's possible that money was exchanged.
So then why would you...
He didn't like Corey.
I don't know what Michael...
Corey, absolutely not.
You know that Michael has been giving money to charity and to people that he cares about forever.
Yes, he has been giving money to people to charity. That's very true.
Okay, so...
But you know what, Corey? He's not your brother. You did not live with him, and you don't know him. So who are you to make these statements?
Oh, I don't know him. Well, obviously I know him a little better than you do.
You did not live with him, and you don't know him. Yes, you stayed the night over, and Michael didn't want you there. I'll say it right in your face. Because he emphatically didn't want you over.
Oh, okay. That's why I still talked to Michael 6 months ago. When's the last time you talked to Michael?
You know what?
LaToya?
You don't know Michael, though. Of course he'll smile in your face, and he smiled every time you came downstairs, too.
Yeah, but Corey, maybe...
You turned your back,
so he invited me over because he didn't like me.
But, Corey, let me ask you something.
Wait. Hold on,
Corey, you
Howard.
pushed her way over, remember? Every single time, because he would say, here he comes again. Oh, God.
Now, Corey, why did you...
Now, LaToya,
and I know that hurts you to hear it, but that's the truth. And you know what I said? I told Larry, I told him, I said, listen, I said, I'm sure he didn't sleep with Corey because of the way he felt about him.
You're talking about Howard now, not Larry.
Hey, Corey, why did your relationship with Michael taper off, though?
Howard.
Yes. Corey, why did your relationship taper off with Michael, though?
It didn't taper off. As a matter of fact, I have a letter from him from 4 months ago when I had eye surgery because I was in the hospital and he was leaving for a tour, and he wrote me a letter which I have right in front of me and I could read to you.
What does it say?
Okay, I'll read you this letter. This letter from Michael, dated 6/22/93, says, Dear Corey, I'm with you, Corey, and sending you happy get-well thoughts and all my love, Michael Jackson.
Now, that's a form letter. I got the same letter.
I wouldn't call that a letter. I'd call that a note.
That's a note. But anyway, but Corey, isn't it, in a sense, you want to defend Michael because, I'm just asking, I'm putting this thought in your head, you want to defend him because you did spend time in the bedroom and you don't want anyone to think that anything went on, not that anything did go on.
I don't care.
Nothing went on. Nothing went on.
Believe me.
Something went on with him and Corey.
Hold on.
He didn't like Corey.
If something did go on with me, I would be more than happy to announce it because then I would be like everybody else and I'd jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
But that's not what it's about.
There is no bandwagon to jump on.
Now, why would LaToya, let me ask you something, Corey. You seem to have some insight
Howard,
here.
you know what?
Why would LaToya...
If you're going to speak to me, put Corey off the Feldman.
All right.
Corey is not making any...
Can I ask one last question, Corey?
No. Hold
Corey,
on.
why would LaToya lie? Why would LaToya lie?
Hold on. Let me say something to LaToya.
Let me ask you something, Corey. Why would LaToya lie about this?
Because
what do you
she's very sick.
Why is she sick, though? How would you know that?
She seems to be managing her life. What's sick about her?
She's managing her life. She's the only person in that whole family that's never had a career. The only career she's had is based on her family.
But she has a career. She makes a lot of money.
That's not true at all, Corey. You know what? You have to stop and remember, I have 9 brothers and sisters, and you know what? You don't hear of any of them. They don't work. They can't get work. They can't do anything. Michael supports them, except for Janet. She's the only one, and myself. We support ourselves, and no one else. So you cannot say that.
Every time I ever saw you, okay, you and Michael were like best friends. You guys were so
Michael and I were best friends, and that's why I know everything about him, and you don't.
No, so you guys were best friends, and now all of a sudden,
but you know what, Howard,
you decided that all these horrible things he did.
Yeah, all right, Corey, I'm going to stay with...
I'm not going to do that.
All right, I'll stay with LaToya. Corey, I'm going to...
Because he doesn't know what he's saying.
Corey,
I don't know what...
Corey, let me put you on hold. Yeah, let me say goodbye to Corey. All right, say goodbye to each other. Hold on. Wait a second. LaToya? Hello?
Yes.
All right, Corey's gone. Well, listen, that's what's...
Corey's absolutely right. Michael did not like Corey. He felt he was too big and he was a pest. That's why I told you in the beginning, I don't think Michael ever slept with Corey at all. Never. Because that's how he felt about him.
And admittedly, you might have been confused about anything about Corey's parents because Corey says that he never told Michael Jackson any of that, and nor is it true.
But you know what? He did say that one parent was
Michael might have.
One was a drug addict, and Corey knows this.
Well, Michael might have said that just to be outrageous. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
Yeah, you don't know if that is.
Well, he did corroborate what LaToya has said all along, that she and Michael were best friends when she lived at home.
That's right.
And he knows. He would see us whispering together, talking together, walking together. We did everything together.
But LaToya, let's just sum up by saying this. You never saw Michael Jackson have sex with any boys, but you are saying you saw checks that were paid to families, and you don't know if it was for sex or not, but you're just assuming it was because you thought it was...
I don't. My mother showed me, and she says, I said, Mother, so what? And she goes, well, what do you think this is for? I go, I don't know.
Right.
And she goes, don't be stupid, LaToya. And that's exactly what she said. And she stormed out the room. She was very angry.
All right. I hear you.
She's totally aware of everything. She's the one that kind of planted the seed in my head to think,
do you think that...
going on?
Do you think you'll be called up as some kind of witness in any of this?
Well, they've been trying to subpoena me for a while now.
Right. Well, so you'll have to come and testify, right?
I really don't care to speak about that. I wouldn't really want to testify.
Right.
I really wouldn't.
Well, let me ask you something. What do you think Michael is going to do? There was word today that he's probably going to return to the country.
I'm going to ask you guys something, and I don't care what all these entertainers say because he's Michael Jackson. If he was a regular person, they would say immediately, this is wrong, lock this person up.
Right.
They would say that right away, and it's very, very wrong. I'm speaking out because I know what it feels like. I've gone through it. I'm not going to stand by and be an accomplice and let it happen again.
LaToya, let me tell you something.
At the same time, why is he running? What is he running from? If you're innocent, why do you run?
That's right. Well, let me say something. Let me tell you something, LaToya. You absolutely have an obligation to say whatever you know, because if there is child abuse, you're doing the right thing. And I'm going to tell you something. If a brother of mine was a child abuser, the second I had a thought that he was abusing children, I would confront him. I would say, "Are you abusing children?" He'd probably say no. I'd say, "I suspect that you are, and I have to report you," because I'm going to tell you something. That's the worst offense in the world. So if you have a feeling that something was going on that was wrong, or you were a witness to something that was that wrong, even though it's your brother and it kills you to do it, I think I can't certainly disagree with your decision to come forward.
And this
is not a new story.
I really respect what you're saying. You're a very bright man, and you must understand this was a hard decision for me to make.
Of course it is.
It was tearing me to pieces inside, and then for the public to do this to me, to denounce me for saying something that's true.
I'm not denouncing you. I'm not denouncing you.
No, you're not.
That's
you're
right.
Not at all. But that's what makes you so smart, simply because you understand and you know how painful and how it hurts.
I say let's get to the truth.
Stop.
Let's get to the truth
of it.
Well, for people who think that this is a Johnny-come-lately story that you've just made up, this is not true. She has been grappling with this for a long time.
Yep.
Because she had mentioned it to me before.
Yep, she had mentioned it to us. And let me
tell you something, Howard and Robin. I'm going to tell you something. Like Corey said, Michael's nice and he gives to charity and all these things. Yes, he gives to charity and he's nice and he does all these things. But let me tell you something. Whenever there's a serial killer, what do you hear all the neighbors saying and everybody who knows him?
He was so nice.
Oh, he was the nicest guy in the world. He was so sweet, so kind to kids. He would never do a thing like that. We're so shocked.
Let me tell you something, LaToya. If you were here in the studio right now talking to me, I would be cuddling you and comforting you, as a matter of fact, and holding you while you said these things to make you feel better.
Thank you, because you know why? It hurts so badly, and I feel like I have to fight and scream to get my point across, and I shouldn't have to. This is not my predicament. Michael put himself in this predicament. I shouldn't have to do this. I should have just been able to make a statement.
You felt obligated to come forward, and I applaud you for that.
And no, I'm not doing it for money. I haven't received a penny for it, and I'm sick of my mother saying that, and the rest of the world is writing off what she's saying. And she's the one. She's afraid the money is going to stop. That's her problem.
Well, LaToya, I want to thank you for calling in. When are you coming back? When are you coming back from Israel?
And for all those people who believe that he did not do it, I just feel sorry, because you know why? When it's your children and it's your child, you better think twice.
All right. Thanks, LaToya.
All right. Goodbye.
What's the matter? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that when you tell me about these award shows, and it was...
It's upsetting. Well, it is.
Yeah, this was not an easy position to take.
No, it's not easy to do it.
This wasn't the easy thing to do.
I don't know why more people aren't interested in coming out to find out the truth. Of course we should find out.
They don't care about innocent children. They don't care about these kids that are being harmed and hurt and scarred for life. They only care about the fact that he's a star and we're not going to let this legend die.
So then you've done the right thing. LaToya, you've done the right thing.
I'm helping children.
You did the right thing.
I will always stand by and help them.
Then don't even give it a second thought. You did the right thing, and you have to do what you think is right, okay?
Thank you for giving me that support. I appreciate that, and I need it.
You're welcome. Thank you, LaToya. Bye-bye.
Take care.
See you when you're back in New York.
Right. We'll see you later. Say goodbye, and say goodbye to Jack.
I sure will.
Okay, bye-bye. That's LaToya Jackson. Heated argument between her and Corey Feldman.
Ooh.
I felt it was fair to, of course, let Corey in on this. Where is Corey? Put him back on the phone.
Want to put him back on to, get his point of view, I suppose. He didn't get really to say much.
I was going to ask LaToya for a nude photo, but...
I think that would have been inappropriate.
Inappropriate, Robin? All right, I'll take a break. I'll get Corey back on the phone. But, no, I really, I'm sincere when I say it. I don't think LaToya should... sit quiet if she feels she knows something. Why should she? Why
I would be more suspicious of a guy if his sister did come out than to just start attacking the sister. I would say, let's take a closer look at this if his sister is saying these things. But everybody else just jumps on the bandwagon and says LaToya's a nut.
Yeah. We'll have Corey back. Corey called as soon as he got disconnected, and he said, I got to get on after she's off.
Yeah, well, Corey is welcome anytime.
I'll tell you sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
LaToya's right, though. I mean, if it wasn't Michael... People,
Of course, they would already...
Everybody would say, what is that guy doing with all those children?
They are tiptoeing around.
This is Hollywood. They're all fakes and phonies. Don't you see it? They all scream they worried about children and children's causes and all kinds of things. And now that an investigation's going on...
the big child advocate, she has nothing to say about this.
Nothing. You can't get a comment out of her.
She should at least say, hey, listen... He should be investigated, and if he's guilty, he's guilty.
And
if he come forward and prove his innocence.
And if LaToya knows something, she should certainly open her mouth. You should applaud that.
It's very convincing.
They always get mad in the newspaper when they say, how come the family never... How come no one stepped forward? So someone stepped forward. She says, listen, this is what I know. I want to say
look at what happens to people who step forward.
I'm not going to say that I didn't see these checks. And she's not even saying she saw molestation. She's saying she saw checks.
I mean, if she was going to lie, why not lie and say, I saw him in bed with somebody?
Right. There's nothing wrong with it.
I just wish she hadn't called you Larry 20 times.
Didn't that ruin it?
Oh, man.
I can't believe she kept calling me Larry.
Right out of the gate.
Do you think it was Larry King she was thinking of?
No.
That was a pretty good cover story if she made that up. I don't think she made that up about having a guy there named Larry.
Well, there's no secret out that Jack and LaToya do not experience sexual relations.
So she could be a little...
Well,
she could be frustrated and liking this guy Larry a lot.
She could be a little frustrated. And Larry the Jew, who lives in Israel, could be walking around in a Bippy shirt.
LaToya doesn't experience it. I got to feel with Jackson like another room.
Yeah.
Staring at her.
I like when Jack picks up the phone and LaToya yells at him to hang up.
Hang up the phone, Jack.
Hang up. Hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Hang up.
Hang up, Jay.
Jack, Larry, Howard,
I'm writing your name down, Larry, so I don't call you the wrong name.
I wrote your name down, Larry. Now everything's fine.
And then 2 seconds later, she called you Larry.
No problem. Who cares? Listening to her and Corey yell at each other was worth it.
Now that everything's cleared up.
Well, now that wouldn't you love to be the judge on this case? You don't know him like I do. I do know him like you do.
I don't know him?
Your father was an alcoholic. My father never had a drink. Your mother was an alcoholic. My mother never had a drink.
I didn't like you anyway.
Screw you, Michael hates you.
I'm telling the truth, Your Majesty. Your Honor.
Larry. Howard. Jack. Jay. It's wild. It's wild stuff. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after these words.
You're listening to Accessories, Main Street. Howard Stern. We're back with a man who was sexually abused as a child and by himself. Howard Stern.
Yeah, baby. That's true. All right, Corey Feldman joining us again. Corey, just in case you are just tuning in, Corey Feldman, of course, the great child actor, now an adult actor. He got into a little fight there with LaToya Jackson. I was thoroughly entertained. I like when LaToya said, I'm not talking to Corey.
Yeah, you know why?
That was good.
You know why? Because nobody confronted her.